Good morning. Thank you for joining me. I know most people are very, very busy these days. So many of us are stressed, and there's so much going on in the world right now. It seems that we get to a point where we overcome one hurdle and another one turns up. I know in my life it's true for me, and I know that many of my many of my friends are feeling this too. So, from my world, we are still in the midst of COVID and mandates. I know that a lot of people that might be watching this, it's calmed down a lot. And from my point of view in Australia, it seems a lot of the world has gone back to normal. But here in Australia, it's still very much in the news, very much mandated. And we've also had floods on top of that in my local area. And on top of that, I was flooded in for a whole week. I couldn't get out. There was no communication, there was no internet, so we didn't know what was going on. And then on top of that, there were people that completely lost their houses. The water went up over people's houses. The whole town is talking about being written off. Like, I think 26,000 people living there with no homes, and those people have no jobs. So the reason I'm saying this is all of our levels of stress are completely different. And some person who's gone through all of the floods and lost their house could be coping with their stress a lot easier than I cope with mine, who was just stuck in for a week. So whoever I talk to these days, there's a level of stress that maybe wasn't there a couple of years ago. And maybe you've always dealt with stress. But this is one simple thing in my toolbox that I use. Now, I like to think of a stress as, we have a bucket, and the bucket could have a little bit in it, or it could have a lot in it. But if we've got a bucket of stress, depending on whether we've got a lot of stress or a little bit of stress, then we need a valve to release this stress. And so one of my valves, one of my tools that I use, and this happens instantly, is breathing. Now, when you learn to breathe properly, it reduces your heart rate. It can help reduce your blood pressure as well. And it can help you think better. You get improve your mental ability to critical think. It also helps with your digestion. It helps you think more clearly, and it reduces your stress. So if you learn a technique that is simply breathing differently, it can help with all of these things and more. And it's really, really vital that we have these tools in our toolbox, because the world is so much more stressful than we ever have lived before. So when we're stressed, as I said, we're not thinking straight, we're not thinking critically. So this breathing is a very, very powerful technique. So I just would like to go through this with you now. It's called box breathing. So all you do, you breathe in for a count of 4. You hold that breath for a count of 4. You breathe out for a count of 4. And then you hold for a count of 4. So breathe in, hold, out, hold, breathe in, hold, breathe out, and hold. Okay, so I'm going to do that with you now. So do this with me. So breathe in for 4. So it's a really, really simple technique. When you change the rhythm of your breathing, it has a physiological effect on us. And so when you're breathing in that, make sure that you breathe in deep in your stomach. So you're not just doing shallow breaths, you're doing big breaths in. This isn't a time to worry about your belly. Just breathe, just relax that breath, relax that belly and do these deep breaths. And it really, really helps to change. It's a really quick brain hack, and it gets our body into a parasympathetic nervous state, and that basically calms the body. So when our body, we all have a nervous system, right? We have a sympathetic state and a parasympathetic state. And the sympathetic state is the state which prepares the body for danger. And many of us have been living with that stress, in that heightened adrenaline response for a long time. So this simple breathing technique will trick our body into thinking that we're in this parasympathetic state, which actually puts your body into a state of calm. So even though we may have craziness around us, even we may not have time to sit and meditate, we may not be thinking straight, we all can breathe. It's a technique that whatever is going on around you, you can do this breathing. So just remember, it's called box breathing. So breathe in for 4, hold for 4, breathe out for 4, hold for 4. And keep doing that until you feel your body calm down. Now, if you get lightheaded, that's completely normal because you're getting more oxygen in. We tend to breathe more shallowly than we should do. And so we're not getting the oxygen intake that we should be getting. So the more you practice this, the longer you'll be able to breathe like this for. And your body will start learning that it can go into this state. So I hope that's helped you. Keep practicing. And keep practicing until it's part of your toolbox, until it's something that even when you are in this state, you can trigger in your brain saying, wow, okay, I have this tool, I can do that, and just take these breaths. It's a really, really simple tool that we can use, and it's really effective. So thank you for being here with me today, and I really hope that helps. If you love this technique, please write some comments and let me know how you go and how you implement this into your life. Thank you so much for being here, and goodbye for now. I'll see you next time.